Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's Monitor Calibration with Spyder5 webinar. Easy and reliable, that's the subtitle of this Datacolor webinar. I'm Boris Bergman from Datacolor, and with me tonight it's Oliver Muse. Hi, Oliver.
Hello.
Oliver is located in Zurich.
In Zurich, right. And Boris is far away.
Yeah, far away in the north, so I'm located in Germany, Hamburg. And we will present you this webinar tonight as a co-presentation. Okay, so about 50 minutes, 60 minutes to come. Let's start right away. We would like to give you an idea why to calibrate and how to calibrate your monitor. And therefore, we will start now. The general problem is where and what is the correct color. As we have today, over the last years, we have a lot of new technologies entering the market, new display technologies. Think about, from TV, we have curved TVs now, and a lot of people don't know, over the last 9 months, already 3 curved computer monitors have entered the market. It's quite a silent approach here, but just to give you an idea what has happened over the last couple of years. You remember 10, 15 years ago, a lot of people still had CRTs, but today you see almost everybody has an LCD. And we have different LCDs. We have the glossy ones, we have the matte ones, we have LCDs that do cover sRGB or less, if you have, for example, an entry-level laptop, or if you have a high-quality one, desktop one, it could be also up to white gamma, which means Adobe RGB, more or less, so 95, 98%. CCFL was the technology in the past, which was a neon tube in the frame, and today we have, not frames like this here. We have the very slim bristles, what we have today, which will be LED and different LED technologies. For example, like RGB LED,
right.
GB minus R LED, well, different technologies.
Yeah, and right. So the problem is here, all these different monitor types or monitor techniques, they have a different spectrum of light in their light source. So this is, of course, a reason why color is displayed in a different way.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, great. Thank you. And also, there's an aging process, you see. As you can see in here, we have okay, that's an extreme example here, but if you have seen, that's at the beginning, and after a couple of months, weeks, years, you have a fading effect. The displays gets darker because the backlight will fade. The RGB filters in the LCD will change over the years, and so also maybe your room light situation and also the room light source will fade over the years. So that's something you have to adjust from time to time to make sure that you will see your images in the correct way. That means you have to calibrate. Okay, so let's have a look what will happen if we do shoot a photo. Okay, what we can see here, we have a camera. Pardon?
Yeah, I have what happened if I use a monitor, which is fine for me? So because of it's here on my desk, I use it because of I think it's fine. I like the colors, but what happened if that monitor is not calibrated? Could you explain?
Yeah, of course. Okay, so you take your camera, a reasonable one, and you shoot your images, and to make it more easy to understand, we say, okay, let's have a black and white one. We see the monitor's display, which is, of course, not calibrated, so it's quite okay. But the file itself is stored on your hard disk, as you can see in here. Here you can see the file with the colors. And here you can see how it looks like. Now, of course, you don't see the file itself. You don't see the 1 and 0 all over the hard disk. What you're going to do, you open the image in, let's say, Photoshop, and you will see the image and you see, okay, it's a little bit greenish here. Okay, so what would you think? Something might have been wrong during the shoot of the photo here. No problem. As you're familiar with Photoshop or Lightroom or whatever you use, you will correct this. Okay, that's what we are doing in step number 4 here. And what you will add is a little bit of red and blue. And so that's magenta, you say, and that will cover the greenish, and it's a neutral image again. Okay, we have a neutral image over here. We will save this image. So that image, what was here on the hard disk, now has some added magenta on top. That's what we can see here. And it will be printed now. And as soon as you get the print, you start to think about what did happen. What will you do? And maybe sometimes you will have to wait for it because you have sent it to a service provider. And as soon as you get the image back, what you will do, you are going to control this, Oliver, right? You will open the file again on your computer and you will see, okay, neutral.
Yep, absolutely. So I would open the file to double check what went wrong. And so if I open that file, it looks good and neutral on my monitor.
Yeah, and so if it was an image printed by a service provider, you will contact them and ask them, and they will answer you, did you calibrate your monitor? And you have to say no, because at this stage the monitor is not calibrated. Okay, so what's the conclusion now? What do we have to do? The color is not on the monitor. The color is in the file, as you can see here. Here is the file in a neutral state. And over here, as we have added some magenta, we have the color a little bit reddish over here in the file. So the monitor is only the window to your image file. It's not showing what the file looks like. It shows how the monitor interprets the data here, and maybe there's a shift, maybe there's a color cast, whatever. Okay, good. So the point is we have to speak in one color language over the entire process, because otherwise it wouldn't work. And so that's what we're going to do. No problem. We can do this very easy. We will have to calibrate. Now, on the other hand, if I have an expert like you, you're a photographer for years now, even centuries. So the question could be, you have a gray card, right?
Absolutely. Right. I have a gray card, and this is what I do. I can use my gray card. I know that this is neutral gray. I use it to set the white point or the color temperature of my images in the raw converter. So I use the gray card, put it beside my monitor, and then I open Photoshop, and I create a neutral gray, which is very easy. And I even don't need a real good monitor for that. So what I do is I use not the eyedropper, so where to select the color, and then I put in the values 128, 128, 128 in RGB. And if these values are equal, I know it must be a neutral gray. And if this gray would look greenish compared to my gray card, Boris, then it's easy for me. I open the RGB sliders on my monitor and I do some corrections. So I reduce the green and ta-da, monitor calibrated. Or do I still need a Spyder?
Yes, you'll do, because the idea is good, but at the end it doesn't work. And so let's start a little bit from the basics here, you see. The first thing, as you're a photographer, you have done this for several years, you're familiar with colors. But the problem is that a human eye, is not like a measurement tool for colors. So what we have to do here, we have to check it, but with a measurement tool, that means we have to use the Spyder. And please let me allow you to show you an easy sample how I can play some tricks on your eyes. As you can see, we have a chest pattern over here. Okay, there's a cylinder and a greenish cylinder. Oh, doesn't matter here that it's green, but you can see there's a shadow. And you can see we have this pattern field A over here, which is a dark one. I think you agree to me. That's a dark one. And we have a brighter one, which is the one over here, which is the B1.
Yeah, right.
Oh, the B1 is located in the shadow area of the cylinder, and that's the problem here. Have a look on this. You can see, okay, this rectangle matches the field A, and it also matches the field B.
Okay, so I thought it's the A is a dark one and the B is a bright one, so I see it on the chessboard. But now you say it's equal, and it is.
Yeah, it is, as you can see.
Okay.
That's the proof over here, and this will bring us to the next step. Your great card try and error solution, which wouldn't work, because you have one slider for red, green, and blue on your monitor. At the end, you need to adjust the deviation your monitor shows to the target curve. And the target curve, let's go for the blue here. And you see, this blue curve you can see here in the diagram, that's the target curve. That's the optimum situation a monitor can be in. We have measured your monitor on the blue curve, and we found, let's say, on the value of X value of about 50, it's a little bit too much of blue. As you can see, the measurement result from the red curve here. Okay, so the red shows too much here. Now it's the blue, because that's now just the measured values of the blue curve here. Okay, so at blue 50, it's too much.
Yeah, so I need to reduce it there.
Yeah, you have to reduce it here. And at blue 100, it matches. So no adjustment necessary.
Yeah, and
let's
128, I need to increase. I see it there.
Yeah, here, over here. And at about 200, it matches again. And at a 240, oh, it's too much.
I need to decrease. Oh, I can't do this with just one slider.
No.
I have one slider for blue, but I can't decrease it in the very low blues. In the mid blues, keep it. Then in the higher mid range, I need to increase it, and this all with one slider. Okay. It's clear now. For me, I can't do it that way. So how can I solve that?
Okay, no problem. The Spyder5 is the solution here to calibrate your monitor. First, it creates ICC profiles. ICC stands for International Color Consortium, and it's a global standard. It's not Datacolor own development. It's just a standard. We're working to a standard. And this ICC profile helps you to speak with all components in one language. And the very best, it's automated calibration. So it's not much for you to do. So what we do, the ICC profile we generate, it defines the color space of your device. For example, here, that's a color space of a matte paper with a certain printer. And it defines the white point and much more about your device. And that's what is needed by the operating system like macOS, Windows, and Photoshop. And also, that's what is needed by the graphic card and to correct this colors on the screen. So the ICC is what you can say is the language here. Okay, no problem at all. What do we have to do? How can we do this? And this is how we can see it will work. The Spyder5, we will have a look at the monitor calibration here. And First is the question, what can we calibrate? We can calibrate all
my
kind of
laptop,
monitors.
my
Pardon?
laptop, my
Yeah,
laptop, can it be calibrated as well?
yeah, it can.
Okay.
It's no problem, you say. You have to calibrate, you can calibrate your laptop. Of course, if your laptop, and I know you have a MacBook Pro, the MacBook Pro is, you have the Retina one, it's able to reproduce sRGB. By calibration, it will be not possible to reproduce Adobe RGB, but the colors it can reproduce are the correct colors. That means you will never have the greenish lady again. It will be the neutral one like you shoot it. You can calibrate front projectors. Desktop monitors can calibrate all of them. CCFL, LCD, OLED, RGB LED, white LED, and whatever, you can calibrate. No problem.
Okay, this is more or less each type of monitor that is on market.
Yeah, okay. That's it. Okay, let's have a look how it works. And you see the software over here, and it's quite easy. The first calibration will take about 5 minutes. And if you have a Spyder4 Pro or a Spyder4 Elite, and you do a recalibration, it takes about 2.5 minutes. So 2.5, that's it. What's new, we have a software wizard with a dynamic help function. You see, because if you have a Spyder4 Pro or a Spyder4 Elite, you have more advanced possibilities, what you can do. You don't have to, but you can. And these advanced features, well, you sometimes have to select an option, and therefore you just have on the right an interactive help. And the interactive help, whenever you go on the left and there's an option to choose from, you get the information what to choose and why to choose which option. That's important. So get the entire information. So what will be asked for, you will ask to place the Spyder here, what I do here, and then it runs automatically. You see, it measures the colors, the grays, and so on. And at the end, you will have the profile, and it's automatically activating the profile, and you can run right away your Photoshop, and the monitor is calibrated.
Okay, so I saw that Spyder5 has different, let me say, versions. Could you tell me a bit more about that?
Yeah, I do. You see, we have 3 models. It's the Spyder5 Express, the Pro, and the Elite. And if we have a closer look, we have the claims. So that's what the marketing department says. We say, okay, as you and I, we are doing tech support at Datacolor, we say, okay, for all those who are hobbyists who want to have an easy and smart way of calibrating the monitor, that's the Spyder5 Express. And for those who say, okay, I'll do print and I'll have a look for a more advanced solution here, it's the Spyder5 Pro. And if you have a look on top, you can see that's the room light sensor here. It's also in the Spyder5 Express, but in the Spyder5 Express it's not working. It's just disabled. On here, it is working as well as on the Spyder5 Elite, and that's important for the print, you see, because you need the room light level. And for those who say, okay, I want to match different... Pardon?
So no, go on. Sorry, I just wanted to ask: could we look into these specific versions? So, what is in Express and Pro and Elite?
We'll do this in a second. And for those people who say, "Okay, I have more advanced. I want to know more about my monitor, about uniformity, and I have different monitor technologies in front of my workspace, and I want to adjust them among each other." That's what the Spyder5 Elite can do. So let's have a closer look, you see. And therefore, before we start, let's have a look how we will work with Spyder5 and how simple it is to get it started. Therefore, it comes in a box, and when you open the box, you have this welcome card. And there's no CD-ROM inside. because we say, okay, very often it will be outdated. And to make sure that you always have the most up-to-date software, we deliver the software via our website. So you just enter goto.datacolor.com/getSpyder5. Make sure not to enter a www in front. Just enter this, and you will get to the, we call it customer care page, where you can find videos, software download, the quick start guides, the user guides, and access to support and everything. Let's have a closer look. You see, when you have a look at the top of the page, you will see, okay, getting started. Hello, welcome. And as you can see here, there is a video. And if you run this video, you will see, okay, how easy it is to set up the software, to activate the software, and to run the first calibration. It's all in a simple video. And for those who say, okay, what do I have to do? For those who say, okay, I want to have it even shorter, it's the quick start here. That's not the quick start guide. It comes below, but that's our 5 steps overall, how easy it is. Warm up the monitor, 30 minutes, recommended. Install the software and activate, which you can do within the meantime. Plug in the Spyder, remove the cap from the bottom, hang the Spyder over the monitor, the cap is the counterweight, and just calibrate. And for those who say, okay, I want to have this quick start guide printed, you can download the quick start guide here, and of course you download the software down here. So Spyder5 Express, Windows and Mac, Spyder5 Pro and Elite, also Windows and Mac. And for those who say, okay, now I want to know how the calibration will work, and the video on top of the page is not enough, also no problem at all. We have another video, we have 2 other videos down here. One is about the very simple and smart calibration of the Spyder5 Express, and the other one on the Spyder5 Pro and Spyder5 Elite with the more advanced options you will have on those models. And a user guide, we have an entire user guide which you can download in different languages, and of course you can print it if you want. And for all those who have additional questions, you have the possibility to go to the knowledge base or to submit a ticket directly to tech support. And that's how easy it is to get started with the Spyder5. Okay, so let's have a closer look, and we have a new sensor. You see it over here. It's encapsulated and up to 55% more accurate. Let's have a closer look over here, and therefore, what have we done? We have a new hardware design. We have a smaller footprint. It's okay, more convenient to store, but that's not the main benefit from the smaller footprint. The main benefit is if you have a curved screen, for example, of course, a smaller footprint will make the Spyder5 more easy to be attached to a curved monitors, and all kind of curved monitors can be calibrated. We have an integrated tripod mount, and that's important for those who go with the Spyder5 Elite. And it's also in the Spyder5 Pro and the Spyder5 Express, but the Elite is the only one who allows you to calibrate projector, to do front projector calibration, and there you will need the tripod mount. So for those who want to calibrate their front projector, there's no extra stand which is lying somewhere on your desk or somewhere in the desk or in the cupboard, and you are searching for it. It's automatically there because that's integrated. And as you can see here in the animation, we have the sensor lens cap, and the sensor lens cap protects the sensor itself from dust and everything. And as it is part of the cable, it's also used as the counterweight. So that's easy. You have just one device. You won't miss anything as long as you have the device with you. no problem at all. Okay, but this is not only the only new technology we have built in. We have much more to come, and therefore we have a new hardware design. And what we have done, we have built and assembled all the optical components to be as one module. That's an encapsulated optical module where you have everything is in one capsule. And that is, you see, we have the filters. The filters are double shielded, of course, but this capsule inside the Spyder itself, inside the Spyder case, you have a capsule. In the case, it's an extra help to resist to mechanical and environmental stress here. So that's great. Okay, helpful. And next, what is the next? We have, if you look at the bottom, we have the honeycomb filter. And the honeycomb filter in the diameter is increased. But if you have a look at the single holes over here where the light goes through, these are much smaller, of course, much more than ever before, and that helps to protect room light, stray light to come into the sensor. So it's only the direct light from the monitor that goes through here. And again, we have the industry patented 7 detector engine. So that's something that is unique at Datacolor, and they said this is what we have in here again. And what is the benefit of this new design, apart from resistant to mechanical and environmental stress factors as we have seen over here? We also have improved by this new design the accuracy. We have improved up to 55% in tonal response at low luminance levels. So that's more technical, yeah. What's the result of this? You have more accurate shadow details. So you will see at the end a higher quality over here. And what is also important from this is that you will have smoother gradients. So at the end, a quality improvement. Okay, great. So let's continue. And so we have talked about the encapsulated sensor. That's something important. The 7 sensors. Okay, you have seen before it's easy to use. That's what is, you can say, was the Spyder5 Express. Really, really simple and smart. And what is new is the multi-monitor calibration. In the past, the previous versions of the Express were only allowed to calibrate 1 monitor per computer. Of course, you are allowed from the site license to calibrate all your own computers you have at your house, no problem at all. But for the Express, it's new that if you have a secondary monitor attached to your computer, you can calibrate both monitors, and that's new here. Okay, that's what the Spyder Express can do for you. Simple and easy. Let's continue with the Spyder5 Pro. So all the possibilities, all the options from the Spyder5 Express. But on top, yes, we have the multi-monitor calibration. Well, nothing new. It allows you to show you the gamut graph of your monitor. Okay, good to know. And what was also new is, it's not really new. You have more calibration targets. Like you have different gamma values, different white points. White point like 6500, 5800, 5000, for example, or gamma 1.8, 2.2. That's what we have in here. There are more values. That's important if you go, for example, towards the pre-press environment. And what is also, and here we have the recalibration option, something the Spyder5 Express does not have. So The recalibration takes only 2.5 minutes, 2.5 minutes, that's it. And also the calibration, the optional, the more calibration targets, the Spyder5 Express only do calibration at 6500. So that's it. And what I have pointed out before, we have the sensor on top, which is the room light sensor. So the room light measurement, we measure the room light in 3 levels here on the Spyder5 Pro. And what is this for? It's important whenever you do print your images. And to explain this to you, if you're looking into a monitor, you're looking into an active light source. If you're looking at a print, it's a reflective situation. And that's what is not what you want to do, you see. For example, take a print and have a look at the monitor. If you have a look at the monitor, you will see the white of the monitor is much brighter compared to the white of the print. Okay, that's the point here. And by this, you have a wider dynamic range, a wider contrast range. And this has to be adjusted because otherwise, the monitor will never ever look like what your print is looking. So you will be not able to judge your images and to see how they will look in the print. So that's something we will have to adjust here. And this can be done with the room light measurement. And what we do, we will trim down the monitor a little bit so it matches the printout at the end. At the first glance, you would say, oh, because the white on the monitor doesn't look as bright as I'm used to it. But you see, you don't want to have a bright monitor. You want to have a monitor that gives you accuracy and allows you to judge your images, to correct your images, to edit your images, and to not be surprised by the prints you will receive later. You want to create good prints at the end. Okay, and that's what the Spyder5 Pro can do for you. Okay, let's continue, and we will continue with the Spyder5 Elite. The Spyder5 Elite has the same functionalities like the Spyder5 Pro, but more to come. We have the room light measurements, yes, again, but now 5 levels. We have now unlimited targets. Unlimited target means whatever brightness level you want to calibrate your monitor, whatever gamma white point, you can just select it. We have video targets. It's not only REC 709, which is the DVD standard. We also have added the REC 2020, which is the UHD standard, so for the 4K monitors, for the 4K videos, you see it's all in here. So you can do this. We have the front projector calibration, also in here. And we have the gray balance fine tune. That's an option that allows you, in the we call it, or we have called it iterative gray balance. It gives you again a smoother adjustment in the gray balance. Very important for those who do the highest quality, and for those who do black and white, you see. Also, we have the Studio Match and Fine Tune options, and if you remember, I was talking about different monitor technologies. And it was Oliver who told us, okay, these monitors produce different, or have a backlight that produces a different spectrum of light. And on top, this spectrum, it's not like you see an ordinary bulb light in the past where you had a continuous color spectrum. An LED has a non-continuous light spectrum that emits this by this LED, and that's something you will have if you want to adjust monitors among each other. You need the Studio Match technology and the Spyder Tune, and for example, make sure that your older display and the newer display look identical here. That's only can be done with the Spyder tune. And you remember I was talking about uniformity. That's again an option. You have the advanced display analysis function. And with the advanced display analysis function, you have the, for example, the uniformity about brightness and about color. And you will see it's 9 areas that will be measured all over the screen. Of course, in the middle where you do the calibration, it's the 0% deviation because that's the reference, of course. But as you can see here, there's a 6% deviation up here. We have down on the lower right, we have a 10% deviation. And that means in this situation here, this area is 10% darker compared to what you have in the middle. Unfortunately, nobody will be able to correct this, but you are aware of this. So if you do image editing and you find out, okay, at the lower right, the image looks a little bit too dark, just move the image a little bit so you have the lower right of the image now in the middle of the screen, and then you can decide, okay, it's because of the limitation of my monitor, or it's because it's too dark in the image. That's something really important because when you do, for example, a canvas, let's think about a large canvas printout, that costs a lot of money. And if the lower right area is always a little bit too dark, nobody wants to have this in a living room, right? And it costs a lot of money, so it's important here. Okay, that's what the Spyder5 Elite can do for you. And so let's have a look about the comparison. We have the Spyder5 Express, the Pro, and the Elite. From the simple and easy calibration to the more advanced to the professional ones, and those who are looking for high quality, absolute high quality. All of them can calibrate laptops, monitors, and the Spyder5 Elite has the Studio Match and front projector calibration. That's what is in here. And also from the calibration settings, we say, okay, we have a fixed one, and so that's more easy, more simple, more smart, but you have 16 choices on the Spyder5, and now you know why the interactive help can be really helpful, allows you to select what is right for you, and you will understand why to select which option. And for those who say, okay, I go off for videography, the REC 2020, the REC 709, that will be here in the Spyder5 Elite. We have always, for the workflow, we have on the Spyder5 Express, we have a simple 4-step process, and on the Pro and the Elite, we have the wizard and the interactive help we have on all 3. Okay, great, good. What else? There's something really interesting. When you do the evaluation of your calibration, you see, okay, the uncalibrated state versus the calibrated, the new calibrated state, where you can switch. It was 16 images. You can zoom into these 16 images and can say, okay, uncalibrated, calibrated, uncalibrated, and so on to compare this. Okay. On the Spyder5 Pro, you can import your own images and watch the standard images as well as your own images, which will be JPEG or TIFF files. And the same on the Spyder5 Elite, but on the Spyder5 Elite you can do this also in a full screen mode. So that means if, for example, you have one of these huge 30-inch monitors, you can use it on the entire screen and see, okay, that's how the uncalibrated monitor will look like. That's how the images or how your sample image will look in the calibrated way. Okay. Good. That's what we have in here. Everything else you have seen before. So we will go for the next slide here. And that's Oliver, it's your turn now because you're the professional photographer and
Right.
I'd like you to
Right.
come back here. So please share your knowledge with us.
Yeah, right. So I would like to give you some, let me say tricks, hints, tips. Just they can really easy be done without any let me say big equipment or something like that. So these, and you see it's just 5 points. Let's start with the first. Please darken your room and use indirect lighting. That
Okay,
would be
let me just darken this room.
so. You see the room, it's just daylight, but do it that way.
This
So
way?
yeah, right. So shut the blinds. That means use a light which is fine to read a short article in a newspaper, but that doesn't allow you to read the whole newspaper. You know what I mean? So you don't need to sit in a completely or in an absolute dark room. That would be much too dark. So, but your monitor need to be the brightest light source by far in the room. So please do it that way. Then please use only a stabilized room light situation. That means don't use daylight at all. I don't do it. Here in my studio, I shut my blinds so there's no daylight, and I put a D65 light bulb in an IKEA reflector, so a very cheap thing, and it shines to my white ceiling and the wall, and this reflects very diffuse that light on my desk. And I don't care if it's late at night outside or foggy or if it's snowing or sunny, or I don't care. It's always the same light saturation on my desk. This is perfect. So really try to do it that way. And then warm up your monitor. That means for a minimum of 30 minutes. And please switch off the hibernate mode of your monitor. The hibernate mode will cool down your monitor even in 5 minutes, and your monitor need another 20 minutes to re-warm up completely to show you stabilized colors. Really, please switch it off. It's not a good idea as a photographer. I'm not talking about screensavers. They are fine because of the monitor is still working. But the hibernate mode where the monitor makes a click and it's really off, don't use it. And recalibrate your monitor. Really, this is my recommendation, every 2 weeks, so twice a month. Datacolor recommends once a month. It's okay, and if I'm tending to once a month because I'm a bit lazy, but I do fashion shoots as well. So, and I know these clients are so picky. Hey, then I really recalibrate my monitor. Even the last calibration is just 1 week ago. So do it. Do it. The more often, the better will be the outcome. And then please avoid colorful walls and surfaces around your monitor. Also, don't wear a green t-shirt, something like that. Or this wooden desk is not the best that can do. The wall behind the monitor, don't paint it in whatever, light green or something like that. All this, each color which is around your monitor will, this is really true, influence your color perception. You don't believe me? You think that is a bit too much? No. Look at the white dot in the middle of that slide here. Only focus the white dot. Don't move your eyes around. This is very important. Otherwise, the test wouldn't work. Only look on the white dot. So I need to talk a bit. I think the next is switching off the lights, right? So go to the next slide.
I'll do this.
So keep looking the white dot. And now I need to talk a bit. So this is the reason. Now in the next slide will be the white dot on the same place, and don't move your eyes around, even in the next slide. 3, 2, 1, click. Keep looking the white dot. Do you see that? The left image looks reddish and the right greenish. Now compare them. Move your eyes from one image to the other. Do you see that? There was no difference at all. Do you want to see one more, which is even more impressive, if you ask me? So the next slide. Please look at the black dot. This is a bit faster here. So look the black dot. Keep looking the black dot. And also in the next slide, keep looking the black dot. So 3, 2, 1, click. Keep looking the black dot. Do you see the landscape? Now move your eyes around and look. It wasn't colored. It was a black and white image from the beginning on. So could you, Boris, could you do it once again? So go
Yes,
one back, look the black dot. Now it works quite fast. And 3, 2, 1, keep looking the black dot. Next slide. It looks colored, but if you move your eyes around, you see it's not. So you see, this is really true. Color influence your color perception. So really avoid colorful surfaces around your monitor. Not a good idea. Black, gray, white is fine. Everything else, please don't do it. So, Boris, now we calibrated the monitor, which is fine. So I know and I learned that I can rely on my monitor from now on.
Yes,
but
you can do.
When I edit my images, I see them, I do all the retouching, I do brightness, contrast correction, and selective color correction, stuff like that. Now, in the end, I want to print my images, and I know that the colors from a printer are not that, let me say, as punchy as the colors on my monitor. I learned from you already that my monitor is additive or is an emission, so I'm looking into a light source, and the printer is reflecting. So is there a feature or a function somewhere where I can, let me say, simulate print out colors?
Yes, Oliver, you can do. It's not a secret. It's just the function called Softproof. And for those who have a Photoshop or the Adobe Lightroom, they can do this. For those who have Photoshop Elements, have a look at the web. There are workarounds because the Softproof function is not part of Photoshop Elements. But if you have a look at the web, you will see workarounds how to simulate this. Because the Softproof allows you now to anticipate how the image will look like when they have been printed. The reason behind, think about your own printer. And if you have a good, reliable printer, a high-quality photo printer, for example, think about what will happen if you use the best ink and you use a glossy paper, how the print will look like. And next, you print the same image on matte paper. Will it look identical? No, because the paper has an influence here, and that's something you will have to simulate. And therefore, you will need, on a calibrated monitor, the Softproof function that works with the printer profiles. The printer profile, which is always a combination of the printer, the ink, and the paper. This combination gives one profile. So for each combination, you have a profile. If you have a good printer, the generic profiles will come with the printer driver. And if you want to have a higher accuracy, create them with Spyder5 yourself. Okay, good. So how shall we do this? If you have a look at this Photoshop over here, I will go to the View menu, go to Proof Setup, and go to Custom. Then I have this little menu here. I will just select the profile for my printer paper combination from the list. If you have created yourself your profiles, your printer profiles, you will find them in the list. If you're using a third-party paper for your printer, check good paper manufacturer will provide them. But keep in mind they are generic and are a deviation overall, so it's an average profile. Individual profiles are at the end always better. Okay, what next? You click on Simulate Paper Color and you click on Preview now. And if you have a look now, here, have a look at the spider checker, have a look at the red, at the blue. If I click now on Preview, you see the difference. I'll go back once. That's before, and that's the after. Also at the wall, you can see it's a little bit more grayish. And what's also happened at the title bar, you see, okay, it's an RGB image. It's an 8-bit color depth. And now it's simulated in coated Fogra 27, which is a profile from an offset sheet-free press. So that's what we have in here. Now we have the simulation. And what is the best? You can work in this mode. So if I just click OK, it will stay, and you can just turn on and off by Command Y, Control Y on a Windows system. So very, very easy. And that will mean you can now adjust your images and a version of your image, of course, to create your print on canvas and to have the maximum quality for that canvas print. And if you go to a service provider that do the print for you, the reliable ones, the good ones, they will provide, maybe not on the small standard product, standard paper prints like 10 by 15 centimeters, but I'm sure if you go for an LOD bond, if you go for a canvas, a large format print, you will get the profiles from them. If not, be careful, because you have no guarantee, you have no possibility to check the printed result in advance in the Photoshop Softproof function. And keep in mind, you can also do this in Lightroom. You just go at the Develop section and check the Softproof box and select the profile. That's it. Okay, good. And if you want to get additional information, more information, have a look at our website. We have a huge amount of information on our website. And if it's more individual, just call us at free phone support. In Europe, use the 00800 700 870. It's important to dial the 00800 because it's a Europe-wide toll-free number. For those who are from the US, you will see the number over here. And as you see from this webinar, sometimes an explanation maybe is a little bit longer because you will have to explain, okay, I have this and this and this configuration. My problem looks like this. And we will give you an answer on the phone. And the answer, okay, so get a phone call, let's say easy, 5-10 minutes. And at the end of this call, sometimes, what did he say at the beginning? Do you remember this? Think about your own phone calls with your friends and whatever. Very often, at the end, you have forgotten something that you have talked at the beginning of the call. So we would recommend, and it's because it's more easy for you at the end, because you will get the information in written form, so you can go through the information, through the advice step by step, and you can redo, you can check everything's okay, and you can do it when you have time to do. It's no need to wait when you can reach us. You can reach us in Europe at from 9 to 12 and 1:30 to 5:30 in the afternoon. That's continental time. So for the UK, that's 8 to 11 and 12:30 to 4:30. Okay, so The online ticket support, you can reach us via the website. You go to the support, contact customer support. You will see a form which you please fill out. This also helps you and us that the required information are already then. And you will get a feedback from the support team, usually within one workday. You can say, yeah, more than 70, it's within a few hours only. Of course, during days like Easter, holiday seasons, and so on, it may be a little bit delayed, but okay, that's it. So that's where you can find additional information. And Oliver, I don't know, have you already opened the question section? So I'll do this now. And so for those who want to ask questions about the webinar, please do so. Oliver and I, we will answer all of your questions in a few seconds. And for those who need additional information on webinars, on special themes, we have the webinar page. And what is the important point? It's not only to register for the new webinars, we have more webinars to come. It's also where you can see the recordings of the webinar. We have the archive over here. So please feel free and have a look and see the recordings as they are at the end on YouTube. Of course, you can download these recordings by using some software to get the YouTube data, no problem. So you have all the information on your computer. Okay, so that's it for now. We will go into the chat now, and you will please enter all the questions. I can see the very first questions are already in. I will stop the recording now, and we're expecting your question. Thank you.